Hi everyone. Getting underway a little bit later than expected, but we are now broadcasting live. I've sent out invites to a few of the other collab channel compadres of mine that said they wanted to join in. So hopefully Al and Ray and Dino will be on board shortly. I'm going to take a second here to post the Hangout on Facebook so that other people know that we're doing that. Okay. What were you saying, Ray? Sorry about that. Sent me a message. That's so complicated. Good. Good. Okay, that's there. All right. So we're broadcasting, and no one is watching, of course, which means that if you're seeing this part, you're watching the playback after the fact. Hopefully we will have a couple guys joining us very, very soon. So might as well get started while we're waiting here. Our theme this week is Rosario Dawson. We haven't had any reviews up yet, but there's a number of films of hers that I was planning on checking out. And one of them, I think probably the one I'm going to end up doing is The 25th Hour, which is a film that Spike Lee directed, and she co-stars with Edward Norton and Barry Pepper and Philip Seymour Hoffman and Anna Paquin and Brian Cox are all in the movie. Came out in 2002, and it was I'm not sure. Yeah, it was. I've only seen it the one time actually, but Edward Norton plays a guy who's about to go to prison because he got convicted for drug possession. Had quite a lot of it stashed in his apartment. Yeah, but I remember liking it quite a bit, so I thought I'd give it another look. It's been on cable lately, and it'll be on again on Monday morning, so I'm going to check it out then rather than renting the disc. I also am a big fan of a movie that she was in called Kill Shot. She had kind of a small part, and unfortunately Mickey Rourke is playing a Native American hitman in it. But aside from that, there's Diane Lane and Thomas Jane and Joseph Gordon-Levitt are also in it, and they're all really good. Especially Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He's really, really funny in the film. You know, he's just a wild card, wild character. What else was I thinking about? I'd seen Trance last year, but I wasn't going to see. We got another message here. Let's see. Arg. Yeah. One of the problems is that it asked us, as I logged on to Google Plus Hangout, it says, you need to re-enable the plugins. And I'm like, what? I did this already. I did it months ago, before the first Hangout. It's a pain in the butt, but basically, what you do is you need to basically queue it to allow a couple of different plugins, a Google Voice plugin, a Google Video plugin, something like that. And you do that before you go on the first Hangout. And why it's asking for you to do all that stuff all over again, I do not know. But it made me end up starting about 15 minutes late. But I've sent the word out. Oh, good, we've got a viewer. Outstanding. Thanks very much for joining us. Thank you for joining us. We were supposed to get started about 15, 20 minutes ago, and due to Google Plus shenanigans, we got caught up. But I would like to say that if you're watching on YouTube, there'll be a link in the lower left corner of the video image that will now allow you to watch on the Google Plus page, and that will allow you to leave questions and comment and stuff like that in real time. It's just me right now, but Al and Ray and Dino are all planning on joining in the conversation, and we'll have a guest on maybe in about an hour's time. We'll see. Ray is appearing. Ray, how are you, Ray?
Hey Scott, can you hear me?
Hey. Wow, that was something. Did you have to deal with those Google Plus plugins at the last second?
Unbelievable, eh? It was like I logged in. No, I seen on Facebook that you had trouble getting the Hangout going. So I said, right, I'll go into the movie reviewers and I'll start the Hangout. And I couldn't. I was inviting everybody, and then I couldn't find out how to start it up.
Yeah, it was a real pain in the neck. But I had to go and read some Google instructions that said you need to click on this brick icon and allow for a couple of different plugins. I'm just like, I did this already. I already did all this before the first Hangout. I don't know what's going on there. How have you been?
I'm fine, mate. I haven't been watching a lot of films because the World Cup's on. So can you hear me?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, so I can hear you great. Yeah.
That's good. I've got a new laptop, so I was wondering about how the sound was then.
hmm Yeah, no,
Um,
you're coming through real clear. Picture's good too. A lot better than mine.
it's okay. I can. Your sound is excellent. So
Yes, yes. So that's what's important, isn't it?
yeah. How are you?
So, how are your teams doing? Are you pulling for anyone? Are they doing well?
Eh, I'm not really supporting any team. You know, it's just the games have been really good. So it's been quite entertaining. Like the last World Cup, a lot of the games were pretty boring. So it was like a chore just to see them. Yeah.
Well, that's good. Great. I wish I could say I was into that as well, but I'm really not. I haven't been paying much attention to it at all.
Yeah.
I've been paying attention a lot more to the people who are talking about just how corrupt the FIFA organization is. They want to have the next not the next one, but the one in 2022. They want to have it in the Middle East in Qatar. It's
Yeah.
like it's going to be way too hot there to have a football game. That's crazy.
They say it's like say in Brazil just now the temperatures must be really bad, eh? So, but
Yeah.
they're saying it's like it's nearly well, no double, but you know what I mean. It's like even hotter in Qatar than it would be in Brazil just now.
And it's dry too. Yeah,
Yeah, but
it's just
that's
insane.
it's all about the money, isn't it?
I guess so. John Oliver. Are you familiar with John Oliver?
No, no.
He's a comedian. He's been on. I'm not sure what show he was on. Maybe Stephen Colbert. He's got his own show on HBO now, and he was talking about. He really likes the World Cup and really gets into it despite all the backstage shenanigans. He was talking about how the stadium that they're holding the games in Brazil is actually extremely isolated. There's like
Huh.
nothing around it practically. So it's not gonna be used very much after this is over. So it's gonna end up being the world's most expensive bird poop receptacle.
It's terrible what they've spent billions on these stadiums, and you see the state of Brazil. You know the poverty. No, it could have been put to a lot better use. Eh? Like I know what you mean. It's like I think it's like ghettos round about the stadiums. Eh? It's like
Yeah, there
obscene.
aren't any real roads. They had all the materials had to be brought in on boats, things like that. It's crazy.
Did you hear about the Luis Suarez sort of scenario?
I'm not really familiar with all those guys. Was he the guy that bit somebody?
That's yeah.
I read a
That's
little bit about that. Yeah.
he's had previous. This was the third time he's done it. But I was watching online. There was a couple of YouTube videos. Will Ferrell was going across to the USA team. You know they were playing Germany,
Uh-huh.
and so he's got his hey, Dino.
Hello.
Oh yeah,
I eventually worked it out.
Yeah. How you doing, Dino?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. You?
Good. Thanks. You have trouble with the Google Plus plugins?
Yeah, I couldn't get on. I was clicking. I got an invite, but I was clicking on it and it wasn't doing anything. So I was just like
Yeah.
fiddling around, and I just suddenly saw this thing pop up. Do you want it? You can join the Hangout, and I clicked it, and
Yeah. Sorry about that. I think they made some more changes and updated the software or the plugin, something like that. But I had to redo this thing that I did when I first started doing these, so that was annoying.
right.
yeah.
There's a go on.
So I we were talking about Luis Suarez.
All right.
So so it's like I was looking on YouTube, and Will Ferrell was going to support the USA team. You know, he was going to see them before the game and everything. So it must have been like a pre-match sort of build-up to it. Someone knew he was in a room full of like all the supporters, so he's whipping them up, saying, "I'm going to bite everyone. I'm biting everyone at the World Cup." He's just whipping them off. You know what Will Ferrell's like.
Yeah. That was. Did you just watch the game? Really exciting. It's probably one of the best games so far.
That first half was
Chile.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys all been
been
about the games lately.
Sorry?
You guys have all been about the games lately. Not seeing too many movies, I take it.
Not really. Last movie I saw in the cinema was How to Train Your Dragon 2.
Oh, that's pretty recent. Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't really watched anything on Blu-ray recently.
Sure.
As you know, I collect the steelbooks, and I've been cutting those down a little bit. I've not been too happy with the quality of the steelbooks of late, so, and the prices of Blu-ray, so just need to come down a little bit.
Sure. Yeah.
I've only watched one film. It was my friend. I usually have a Thursday film night at my friends, and we watched. He let me see a 2012 Spanish film called Blanc Eves. Was it called? I'm trying to find the
Haven't
name
heard of
it. It's a bit like you know the Blanc and Eves, and it says it was a twist on the Snow White fairy tale. It's set in the 1920s in Seville, and it's centered around a bullfighter. But it's mostly based on the Brothers Grimm,
Right.
Snow White.
Right.
But it was pretty good. It was like made as a silent film, but it was actually made in 2012.
Oh, right. A bit like The Artist.
Exactly, yeah. I would say
Right.
it was better than Artist as well. It's
Yeah.
like really well made.
Did it have music?
It had, yeah, it was like orchestra music.
Uh-huh.
But I never knew any of the names. It was like Spanish directors and stuff. But I'll send you the link. I'll put it on Facebook for you.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll send you the trailer and stuff.
Hey, are either of you going to be doing a Rosario Dawson video this week?
Is that the theme this week?
Yeah, that's right.
I could do if I have the chance. I suppose the only two movies fresh in my... Well, no, there's three movies that I know about her. There's Trance I saw, which was that last year?
Mm-hmm.
There's Clerks 2 and Sin City, but apart from those three, I couldn't think of any more.
She was in Alexander.
I've never seen that. Is that the one with Alexander? Yeah.
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell, yeah, and I haven't seen it. No.
It's
an Oliver Stone film.
Yeah, it was kind of it got bad word of mouth, and I think that's probably what put me off.
Yeah, I went to the theater to see that one. I wasn't too happy with it.
It could have been an amazing film.
Yeah, could have been.
I was planning on rewatching The 25th Hour myself. It's a Spike Lee movie with Edward Norton.
Right.
Anyway, she's in that one. She's his girlfriend.
I remember, you know, when the last Transformers film came out, that was filmed like where you live, wasn't it?
Yeah, actually, the new one's filmed in Chicago too, partly.
Oh, is it? Right.
Yeah.
So okay. So you're going to see a lot of. Have you seen it yet?
No, I really don't want to. I mean, I kind of do want to, but I don't, just because it's like I'll be sitting there for 3 hours getting pummeled by Michael Bay, and I just not looking forward to that at all. You know, I mean, oh my goodness, I've seen so many humorous negative reviews of that movie. I mean, it's been entertaining. I'm so glad you guys are enduring this movie so I can listen to your funny bad reviews because they're great.
Yeah, I'm going to miss it. Unfortunately, I'm going to be out of the country when it was released over here. So.
Don't you mean fortunately you're going to miss it?
Well, I'd love to watch it just to rip it to pieces. But yeah. Who knows? I might like it.
I'm not too keen on it. I thought what I would do is instead of going to see the movie, I'd go see some other movie and then pop
Yeah.
into the theater just to watch like the last hour of it. You know, just like the ending.
Yeah, you
know,
probably could just get straight into it. There'll just be robots punching
Yeah.
each other. Yeah.
Yeah, skip all the really silly stuff, you know, involving people being goofy and what have you, because that always happens. It's like the first hour and a half of the movie, it's just like people acting like idiots, and then the last 45 minutes to an hour is one big battle scene. So I'm like, oh, I'll just come for that, you know, not even bother with the rest of it. Who cares, right?
Don't you find that like Michael Bay is the ultimate bait and switch with his trailers? Like when you watch the film, it's full of that goofy, horrible humour. It's really unfunny sense of humour that he has going right throughout the film. But you watch a trailer and it's always absent of all of that bad sense of humour. It's like the people who make the trailers know he's not funny, so they try their best to keep all of that stuff out and just make it look like it's a really serious action movie. And then when you see the film, it's...
Is Mark Wahlberg in it?
Right.
My wife gesturing. Are you gonna go? Yes, Mark Wahlberg's in it. Yeah.
Huh. And I'm sure I've seen in the trailer. Was it Stanley Tucci was here?
Yes,
he's in it too.
I'm sure he'll be the comic relief.
What's he doing in that film? I know he's too good an actor to be in that. Like.
He's making money, is what he's doing.
That's true.
Big residuals from a movie like that, you know, for all the overseas grosses, the video and the showings on cable and what have you. You know, all that's extra money.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
got a message here from somebody, so let me take a quick peek. Looks like Alan sent a message to the group. Come on, let's go. Oh yeah, he's on his way home. He'll be joining us very soon.
Excellent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of Transformers, Shia LaBeouf, he's been in the news again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sad guy. There's something not. No, there's something not right. I think he's needing a wee bit of help. Like.
It's never good with him. He apparently was disruptive in a theatrical, you know, a stage play, you know, something on Broadway. And prior to that, he was like playing some kind of silly game with tag with a homeless man. He thought the homeless man had his hat, and so he tried to take his hat back, something crazy like that. The guy's in trouble, man. He really is.
Yeah.
It's a shame to see that, you know. And Harrison Ford there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, at that age, in your 70s, it's going to take a long time to heal something like a busted ankle. So.
I've never known anything like that. That would have been at Elstree,
yeah. There you go. George Lucas is going, I told you, green screen. He wouldn't have done anything like that with green screen.
Yeah. Can't even build a Millennium Falcon, have to CGI it in and everything, right?
Oh, that would have been CGI if George Lucas was filming it.
Right. Oh. Just CGI the doors. We'll add it in later. No, they had to have real doors.
He'll just CGI Harrison Ford in there, like so.
well, green screen's leg. No, keep the plaster cast on. We'll just green screen.
Just green screen it out. I mean, they can. I don't know how much action he's going to be in anyway, but they can just do close-up shots. Or
I can't imagine the old, like.
He's got to be able to walk around and stuff like that, you know. I mean, you know, that's going to be a big problem for him if he's got to at least be able to walk places, not even run, but walk places.
Well,
with a broken leg at age 70.
Peter Mayhew as well. He was he just had an operation last year on both his legs.
Yeah, I mean, like when I saw him, he was in a wheelchair last time I saw him.
It'll be interesting to see. I'm still excited though.
I think it's going to get delayed.
No, I'm afraid not. Disney is not going to let J.J. Abrams push the movie back. I just read this yesterday. They're like, the movie's coming out December of 2015. That's it. No delaying to the following summer. So whatever happens, they've got to make do with whatever they've got, which is a bad thing because they can just wait and take the time to get it right. You know, I hate it when they rush into movies like that. That's why some of those movies are so terrible, is because they needed to get the scripts done too quickly because they have to start shooting in order to make a release date. You know,
they haven't got another director for the next ones. So, and spin-offs. So.
Yeah,
they're going full out, aren't they? Yeah.
It's a shame.
I'm still kind of excited for it. I mean, it works for Marvel, you know.
Yeah,
So
it's Star Wars anyway, innit? So
I mean, you
Yeah,
can have.
yeah, it did
Go
work until they got rid of Edgar Wright.
on. Yeah, I'm not too keen on the new director of Ant-Man. I have to say, not
Yeah.
got an illustrious CV or a resume, as you say over
Well,
there.
he directed Bring It On or something. But then again, the guys who did the Captain America movie that came out earlier this year
Yeah,
directed like comedies. You know, they were comedy directors, and they made a really good Captain America movie. So it could turn out okay. But at the
yeah,
same time, it's just like, man, you know, Edgar Wright's just so awesome. And apparently, they wanted either more action or more, you know, product placement or something like that. And he was just like, no, I'm not on board with that. So he left.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's a shame.
Well, yeah. I
I'm,
have to say, Ant-Man's not one of my favorite Marvel characters anyway.
I
I
don't know a
can't
thing
think.
about him. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems that all the way they're going about it, it's not really. I'm not really that excited about it. But we never know. It might turn out to be really good. So
Sure. I'd just like to remind our viewers, because we have a couple of them now, that the Q&A is switched on. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can click a link in the lower left corner of the video image that will take you to the Google Plus page. You can watch it there, and you can leave comments and ask us stuff. So please do, if you'd like to.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
So, what about you, Scott? Have you seen anything lately?
Well, there's a new Paul Haggis movie that just came out here called Third Person, and that'll be my substitute for Transformers. That's what I'm seeing instead of that movie. There were a couple movies that should have opened up by now here, but haven't. One is the new John Carney film, and that's called Begin Again with Mark Ruffalo and Keira Knightley. And the other one is called Snowpiercer, and it's by the director of
Chris
The
Evans.
Host. Yeah, and Tilda Swinton and a few other people. And I've been reading about the fact that Harvey Weinstein wanted them to cut like 20 minutes out of the movie. And when they said, no, we don't want to do that, they're like, okay, we'll just give it a platform release, meaning only just in a few theaters, not a wide release. And if it does well, we'll expand it greater. I'm just like, man, you know, I mean, so many times people are releasing these big movies that are 2.5 hours long, and they couldn't have a science fiction movie with Chris Evans at just over 2 hours. That's kind of silly.
Yeah, it's already been out, I think, in Germany a few months ago. And I was on Amazon. I could pick up the Blu-ray already for Snowpiercer, but it still hasn't got a UK release date, I don't think.
No. Now, I know it's been in some countries already, but not
And
here.
someone
Well,
ruined
not
it for
in
me.
Chicago anyway. What was the last thing I went to see? Yeah, I mean, I haven't been to a lot of the big ones. Earlier this summer, I saw X-Men and Godzilla and Edge of Tomorrow. But there hasn't been a lot that I've really been sort of like intent on. Just a few of them. The ones that I'm really looking forward to now won't come out until August. You know, and that's Guardians of the Galaxy and the new Sin City movie.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy I'm looking forward to, just because it's an unknown. I don't know much about Guardians of the Galaxy, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Planet of the Apes. Oh, was it right? Is it Dawn? Is it Dawn or Rise? Rise of the Planet of the Apes. What was the first one? I
first
can't believe
one was Rise.
Yeah, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
They should have switched those titles.
Yeah,
The first one
doesn't
should
make
have been
sense,
Dawn,
does it?
the
It should be
second
the
one,
other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. There's another film coming out while I'm away, so I'll have to see that at a later date.
Where are you going, Dino?
Russia.
Ooh, what for?
See family in Russia. But should be fun.
Very good. How long are you away for?
Just a couple of weeks. Yeah, it's not like the cold part as well. It's a nice warm beach part. It's down near the Black Sea, so.
Sure, yeah. I've been reading some stuff about how Putin is keeping all of his government people in Russia. He's not letting them travel overseas anymore.
Right.
He wants everyone to kind of stay there. I hope you can make it back okay.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be right down near Crimea area as well, so that should be fun.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
How long will it take to fly there?
It's about 3 hours to Moscow, and then I think it's about 2.5 hours down to Anapa, where yeah,
It's not too bad then.
yeah, it's not too bad.
Have you been there before?
Yeah, I've been there a few times. Yeah,
No.
but it's been. I think the last time I went was 10 years ago. So yeah, it's been a while.
So I was planning on watching these today.
Oh, Lawless,
Looper.
yeah, and Looper, good films.
Are they
Looper
good films?
better. I prefer Looper to Lawless, but like they're two good films, I think.
Uh-huh.
I haven't seen Lawless. Who's the director?
Directed by John Hillcoat,
Oh, he did The Proposition.
the Australian boy, isn't it?
Yeah, The Proposition's a pretty intense movie.
Oh yeah.
Even Shia LaBeouf's not too bad in that film. So
It's got a good
Jessica
cast.
Chastain is in it as well, right?
And Guy Pearce, Tom Hardy.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. Yeah.
I was,
Hey,
I was planning-
there's a new a magazine I just got in the mail yesterday has some shots of Tom Hardy playing Mad Max. It's a movie coming out next year. He and Charlize Theron are making a new Mad Max movie, and apparently it's like very, very little dialogue and mostly all action for 2 hours.
Yeah.
I'm like, that sounds really cool.
right.
it sounds very. I think it sounds very like it's going to be more like the Road Warrior, the second Mad Max. I think that because that hardly had any dialogue in it, and mainly had a lot of action. And the shot I saw with the big tanker with all the cars around it, that's very Mad Max 2 looking film, which is cool because Mad Max 2 is my favourite out of I didn't even like Mad Max 3. So I'm looking forward to that. It looks really good.
He's his ideal choice for Mad Max.
Sorry?
Tom Hardy is a good choice for Mad Max.
Yeah, he is.
He's a really good choice. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good choice for that because he's got that kind of. He looks like he can be a good guy. He could be either or. He's got that sort of ambiguous look about him.
Bane, man. He can play an intimidating character. Can handle himself. Yeah. So
Did you ever see him in Bronson?
No,
I saw
I've seen bits of Bronson, but not all of it.
That's a pretty intense film.
I got to see the movie where he was in the car the whole time. Maybe we talked about it in the last Hangout. I can't remember.
I saw it. I really enjoyed it. Some people I saw on Facebook, they see it and they really dislike the film. But I think there's kind of an age thing there. I think like if you're a teenage kid, it's kind of subject matter that it's not gonna. If you don't relate to it, you're gonna be bored by the film. If you kind of relate to it, like when you get to late 20s, 30s, 40s, like the pressure of life, the mediocre things can be quite a dramatic thing, and that's probably why I connected to it.
Yeah, probably a little frustrating to have it all take place only in the car, just hearing other people, because I can totally see that being not everyone's cup of tea, but that's great. It's something different, and I was really starting to, as he was talking to other people, I was really trying to picture. I had an easy time picturing like the house where his kids and his wife are, and the office where his colleague is, and all these other people, and I'm like, it's that's good when it happens like that. It's really good. Kind of reminded me of My Dinner with Andre, where it's just basically two guys at a restaurant throughout the whole movie, but they're telling you stories, and so you stop looking at the screen and you start imagining what it is they're talking about. That's really cool.
Sounds a good film. That.
Yeah.
Remember the film Phone Booth?
Yeah.
It sounds a bit like that, sorry.
And it's buried, isn't there? With
oh, it's one location, that's for sure. You saw Phone Booth, Ray?
Yeah, I've got it on DVD. I've seen it a couple of years ago. I haven't rewatched it recently. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I've seen it a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah, it pretty much just takes place on that one street corner, and they have little we'll do the picture-in-picture. If he calls someone, like his wife or whoever, it'll be like a small image next to his head of her, but it never moves away from that one street where everyone's gathered.
Yeah.
Didn't that come out like sort of straight after the first season of 24,
I
or
think
was
you
that
might be
just?
right.
It was kind of like Kiefer Sutherland sort of resurgence, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was kind of cool, and I think he just sort of like had that resurgence, and it was
Yeah.
that was so it was kind of cool to hear his voice in the film.
It came out on my birthday actually, in
Right.
2003. That was my birthday movie that year. And actually, it's a Schumacher movie, and
Yeah.
Joel Schumacher also made The Lost Boys and A Time to Kill, and a couple of the movies that Kiefer Sutherland was in, Flatliners too.
Mm-hmm.
So he got, obviously he and Joel Schumacher got along really well, so he got him to play the assassin. It's a good phone voice, that's for sure. Very good phone voice.
Yeah.
That's
Joel
how
Schumacher's.
Yeah. What's that?
Joel Schumacher's all right, isn't he? I know he gets a bad rap sometimes, but he's made some good films.
He did Phantom of the Opera as well.
Yeah, I was really excited about that movie because I figured something big and theatrical like that would be right up Schumacher's alley, but I didn't like it as much as some of his other movies. I think the problem was the singing just looked like lip syncing. It looked like they were moving their mouths instead of actually vocalizing because their throats didn't move that much. So I think that's probably why I didn't get into the movie. I mean, I like the music a lot, but the movie itself I wasn't big on. But that was like the first movie I ever saw Patrick Wilson in. I had no idea who he was then.
Well, he was a stage singer in that. No, that was his first gig, I think.
Yeah.
On the stage.
I guess so. And Emmy Rossum, she was in. She had a small role as Sean Penn's daughter in Mystic River. Aside from that, she wasn't really in anything. And she was a professional singer prior to that as well. So yeah. Speaking of Emmy Rossum, I've been watching Shameless lately. It's such a fun show. It's such a funny show. Really get into that.
The US one.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I know it's a remake of another series. Is it an English series?
Yeah, I don't like it.
No.
I think I've maybe seen 1 or 2 episodes.
James McAvoy had a career start in that show, so.
He was in that.
Yeah, he was in the first season. Hello, Al.
Hello. I use my phone, so I'm not sure how it's going to be.
Yeah, it's quality's good.
You kind of stretched. But
yeah. You turn your phone sideways and landscape it.
That's better?
That's all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Looking good.
Still got to part with my ugly mug, though, I'm afraid.
How you been, Al?
Not too bad. I'm sitting near a window, so I should get a bit of light.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looks okay.
Good. Busy day out.
Busy. I didn't feel I was going to get on. I had a rush back with my little one, and he fell asleep on the bus on me, so that was more dramas, but I got here in the end.
Cool.
Excellent. So I was going to say, has anyone seen the trailer to Dracula Untold?
Oh, it just got posted the other day. I haven't looked at it yet.
Oh, I haven't. Oh, it looks quite good.
Who's in it? Luis Suarez.
Luke Evans?
Luke Evans is Dracula. It kind of looks like a sort of popcorn version of Bram Stoker's Dracula.
There was a Dracula 2000. I think it was in the year 2000.
With Gerard Butler.
Jerry Ryan was in it.
Oh. Which one was the one with Gerard Butler was Dracula?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Wasn't Johnny Lee Miller in Dracula 2000?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, I never saw that.
I think it was a bit... Nah, it's...
What is that breathing noise I'm hearing?
That's Al. It's been running, ain't it?
That's obesity for you.
I see your man's in
Big
Brazil.
Mac and fries.
Oh. Gaspoye.
Oh yeah, legend.
I see him on the BBC World Cup panel.
Yeah, top bloke.
So I just did the research there. Yeah, Gerard Butler was the Dracula in Dracula 2000.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
I know I never saw that one.
Ah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, it's maybe that curly hair. It's sort of you
Right.
don't recognise him. It's like the other day I just realised I was like it's one of them things I've seen for like years and years and years, and it just suddenly clicked one day. I was like, the guy who plays Porkins in Star Wars is the same guy who is at the start of Raiders of the Lost Ark, where he turns up. He's part of the CIA, where they tell Indiana Jones about the Ark, and he needs to get that Hitler's trying to get the Ark.
Hitler's
yeah,
another
that is the same
subject.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's the
never
same
made that
guy.
connection before. Right.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't realise that was Porkins. And he's also in the Batman 1989 Batman as well.
Oh, he played Eckhart, the cop, right? Eckhart
Yeah,
in the hat
yeah.
and coat. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah, I never made the connection between those with that guy before. You know.
Yeah.
Excellent.
It's one of the things you're like, oh, he's in that and he's in that. As I just thought, oh, it's Porkins is just that one. Porkins is
You mean when
Porkins.
you run the show, Jack? You're an A1 nutboy, and Grissom knows it. I answer to Grissom, not psychos. Eckhart, think about the future. Bang! Yeah, it's
Excellent.
cool. You know, I saw a movie the other day, which was sort of kind of like what we were talking about earlier, just one location. There's a bunch of couples gotten together at somebody's house for brunch, and then the TV and the electric goes out. They don't know what's going on. They realize that there's actually been a couple of dirty bombs detonated just about 12 miles from them, and they're filled with VX gas, and they're all going to die in like 3 hours.
Oh, I think, yeah.
But they're still
Can't remember
arguing
the
with
name
each
of that.
other about who cheated on who and stuff like that. Anyway, there was this one actress in it that I recognized, but I just couldn't place her at all. And finally I figured it out. It was someone who was on a TV series last year. I knew I'd seen her somewhere. I just couldn't make the connection. It happens sometimes. It's a funny movie, though. It's called It's a Disaster. It has David Cross and Julia Stiles.
That sounds like a sci-fi special. Sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
It's a disaster.
Great title.
No, it's really good. It's a really funny movie. Yeah, if you have a chance, you ought to take a look at it. It's one of the better movies I've seen recently.
So, are we all up to speed on Game of Thrones?
No,
Yeah,
not me.
exactly. Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, I'll
But I
my
think I know
list.
everything.
I'm actually reading ahead now of the show.
Are you reading the books?
Yeah, I'm reading ahead of the show because the last season was the most spoilerish season. So we won't bring it up, Al, what happened.
I've
But
been
last season was
spoiled so many times for me already.
It's the most spoilerish season. Like the first season, I think not many people watched the first season. They sort of caught up with it later on, and now I think more and more people are watching Game of Thrones now. That's why it's even like newspapers are ruining it for people, and people are just posting spoilers on Facebook and everything. The last season was so there's so many spoilers were going around. I thought if you can't beat them, join them. So I'm going to read ahead now.
Was that season 4 you're
find
talking
out through the
about?
books. Sorry.
Was that season 4 you're talking about?
Yeah, season 3 wasn't spoiled for me. I didn't know anything about the Red Wedding. That was a big shock for me. My wife had read the books ahead of the show, so she didn't tell me, and it was really a nice surprise. Joffrey was ruined for me. Everything was ruined for me on season 4. So
I was watching loads of the sort of Comic-Con panels with the Game of Thrones guys, and that was like the guy that was Khaleesi's husband.
yeah,
Him, the Scottish
Oh,
boy, the
Carl.
Hound. Aye. Drogo had a Hound, and young Maisie Williams. They were in Florida, and they were doing like a panel, and it was
Right.
hilarious. Like it was on YouTube, so it was pretty good.
Even though it was spoilt though that season 4 was fantastic. I think that was like the best season so far.
Yeah.
That Viper in the Mountain episode, I think that was the one of the things that wasn't spoilt for me, and I was like I just couldn't believe the ending of that episode. That was just amazing.
So many
I
of
was
those
like,
episodes this last season had like this big bang at the end. If it wasn't
Yeah.
somebody dying, it was like some big moment, like the trial, trial, and how there's a big speech at the very end of the. I was just like, yeah, tell all of them. That's great. Yeah,
Well,
I've really been enjoying it. Yeah.
I'm a third into this other book now, and they're gonna. I don't know what they're gonna do, but so far it's not that exciting.
How many
It's
books was it?
cool, it's like it's a lot of intrigue going on. But it's like nothing shocking has happened or anything like that. So they might mix it up. What they have done, I've noticed though, is they mix a lot of things up. They'll take stuff that they've actually taken stuff that's in the book I'm reading now and already used it. So like Jamie's false hand, he's had that fitted. That doesn't get that's only just been fitted in on the book I'm reading. So they do take a lot of stuff from further into the story.
I have a lot of confidence that even if it isn't as exciting in the book, the guys making the show will make it exciting somehow.
Mix it up. I think they'll take and they're running out of books. So he needs to get a move on writing those books.
So he's still actually writing the books now. There's no like an end.
I think he's still got another couple of books to go.
Right.
But I think he's given a brief outline of what he plans to do in case something horrible happens.
Right. Excellent.
Sure. Yeah, I'm psyched that Brynny of Tarth is going to be in the new Star Wars movie.
Yes, she is, and she's great, isn't she? She's a great actress. A very tall woman. But, yeah. Who else is Who else is in it? The girl from 12 Years a Slave, whose name I forgot.
Yep.
Yeah. There was a lot of complaints about there weren't enough females in it, so it's nice to see more females have been mentioned now after the initial announcement.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise as well.
Yeah, he's Yoda. Yeah.
I just read that the next Star Trek movie is going to be on the actual Star Trek Enterprise 5-year mission. It'll be in deep space, away from all the usual planets. So that'll be cool.
Yeah.
I was going to say, talking to Tom Cruise, he's just filming up the road from me in Chelmsford. So just got told that today. So. What's
he shooting?
I don't know. My wife just mentioned it. We were driving home today, and she goes, "Oh, I've just been told Tom Cruise is in Chelmsford, which is the town next to my town." And I was like, "Oh, really?" Yeah, he's filming at the Waterworks. He was in a pub with David Beckham the other day in London, so he's in England at the moment. So
yeah,
he probably visits. I think he's did quite a bit of filming, eh?
Imagine I wonder if it'll be another sci-fi or something. He seems to be quite the sci-fi guy at the moment, but
yeah. I don't know where he shot Edge of Tomorrow exactly, but I think he shot Oblivion in Iceland.
Yeah. Well, a lot of Edge of Tomorrow was in London.
Right, yeah. It was funny how there's that one scene where he gets on a motorcycle and drives to another town, and I'm just like, oh, he found a way to get on a motorcycle just for a few minutes, motorcycle briefly in Oblivion. He always manages to get on a bike somewhere during the movie, even if it doesn't have anything to do with what's happening. Right, yeah.
That's a running scene.
Yeah. I quite liked Oblivion. I thought it was a pretty good movie.
What, Edge of Tomorrow?
Oblivion.
Oh, right, yeah. I liked Edge of Tomorrow and Oblivion. I thought they were both really good films.
Yeah, I would have liked Edge of Tomorrow more if it wasn't for the constant machine gun fire throughout that whole movie. It really, really killed my ears after a while. Maybe the sound in the theater was louder than it was supposed to be, but it's just
maybe.
All throughout the whole ending, I was just like, man, give me a break. I need to get out of here. I would have liked it more if the sound level didn't bother me so much. But I did like it.
I never noticed that.
Yeah. Well, it could have just been the theater I was in. I don't know.
Right. Fair enough. But I was going to say, yeah, it wasn't a great start to the year for movies, but it seemed to have picked up and got better. Lego, for a long while, the Lego movie was the best film I'd seen. So
I think probably the movie that I've liked the most this year is Under the Skin.
Yeah, I've not seen that yet. No. Did you see it, Ray?
I've hardly been to the cinema this year at all. I'm struggling to think of the film I actually went
What
to
happened
see.
to Al?
I
His
don't
phone
know.
nearly ran out.
He lose reception or something?
Yeah.
I see we've got about 4 viewers now. I just wanted to remind everybody that if you're watching on YouTube, you can click a link in the lower left-hand corner of the video image. It'll take you to the Google Plus page, and you can type questions into the Q&A portion, because they don't have that, I don't think, on the YouTube page, but it's there on the Google page. Okay. What you doing there, Ray? You messing with us? Hangout toolbox?
Yeah.
What's that?
Did you see that?
Yeah. I got these notifications on my screen right here, adding stuff.
I was just having a look at it. I was wondering if they'd changed anything or.
Well, I switched on the Q&A option before we started the broadcast, because that was what you're supposed to do. But I haven't seen any messages pop up yet, so hopefully someone will. Yeah. So we've got a theme coming up on the channel, which is a movie the year that you were born. You guys picked out a title yet for that theme?
Is that coming up pretty soon?
Yeah, pretty soon. I think we've got Amanda Seyfried next week, and then after that, that's the theme.
Right.
The movie the year you were born. All right.
Sure. Yeah. I've been.
What year were you born?
Here. I was born in 1973.
Right. What about you, Ray? What year were you born?
1966.
Really?
How about that?
No, you weren't, were you? Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what I'm laughing for.
I've got a Clockwork Orange. 1971 I was in. So I've got Dirty Harry. Oh, I like that film. So.
Al says that he's got to see to his kid.
Right.
His kid woke up.
The highest grossing film of 1971 was a film called Billy Jack. That's one I don't know. Even Fiddler on the Roof was the second highest movie.
Where do you see that? Do you know that
on Wikipedia.
I saw Fiddler on the Roof live on stage. It's a musical, but I've never seen the film. Dirty Harry, of course, I've seen that one. And definitely a Clockwork Orange, of course.
Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
Never saw that one.
You've never seen Bedknobs and Broomsticks, have you?
No, I don't. I'm not even sure what it's about. It's a kids movie, right?
Yeah, set during World War II. And it's kind of like it's a little bit Mary Poppins. You know, there's a lot of similarity between that film and Mary Poppins.
Sure. I didn't ever see Mary Poppins until right before I saw the movie with Tom Hanks as Walt Disney that came out last year, Saving Mr. Banks.
Right.
I actually watched Mary Poppins beforehand specifically because my mom said, let's go see that movie. So I'm like, I better watch Mary Poppins so I know what's going on.
So I'm just looking at 1966. There you've got. Let's see. The Good, the Bad, and Ugly.
Oh, nice.
Sweet.
We could do that for. Do we have an Eli Wallach tribute week?
Oh, we hadn't talked about that. I don't know. Yeah. We hadn't talked about doing a tribute week for him.
Yeah.
But if we do that, we're going to end up pushing everything back, of course. We could do like a double theme.
Yeah.
You know, if you wanted to talk about Eli Wallach instead of Rosario Dawson, or if you wanted to do like one of each by them, something like that. No reason why that's against the rules or anything. There are no rules.
I've been slacking a wee bit. It's just with the World Cup, isn't it? It's like you settle down for a match, and then you're like, well, I do a video, and then you think, nah, I'll make a cup of tea and watch the game.
Yeah.
I've not been watching any films. I've only watched about 2 films in the last 3 weeks.
Oh,
Yeah,
Alfie, 1966.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a great film. I love Alfie. I've seen it so many times.
I never used to like Michael Caine when I was young. I think it was a bit, I don't know, it was a bit talky, but knew he's what an actor he is.
Yeah. Well, you didn't like him when you were young, you trying to
Yeah.
say? Or you didn't like him when he was young?
His films, I think, were too. I think they were more adult based when I was
Right,
younger.
yeah.
Then when you grow up, you realise good actor, no, and he picked the films.
Oh, yeah.
As well.
I mean, I love his films, like when, his older films.
Yeah.
Get Carter, fantastic film, and Alfie, and Too Late the Hero, which I don't know if many people watch, but it's not really not many people mention that film, but I really like that. It's like a war movie.
Yeah. I want to see The Man Who Would Be King. I haven't seen that for
Oh,
years.
great film, yeah, love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sean
He's in
Connery.
with Connery, yeah.
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 Where they mistake Sean Connery for Alexander the Great.
Uh-huh.
And it's like,
A bit like Colin Farrell.
yeah.
He did a movie in 1990 called A Shock to the System, which is a favorite of mine. He's
Oh
this
yeah, I went to cinema to see
executive
that.
in advertising, and he ends up killing his colleagues that are preventing him from getting a promotion. It's a really, really dark comedy. It's really good.
I actually went to the cinema to see that.
Oh, cool.
It was really strange. I took this little boy. My mum used to look after this little boy, and he went to see the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, the very first one that came out. So I took him to see it, and we sat in the cinema, and we were waiting for that film to start, and the cinema really messed up big time because they put a Shock to the System's trailer on before the Teenage Mutant Ninja movie started. And this trailer actually had the F word in and everything. I was like, I couldn't believe it. But we stayed in and watched the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Well, it got me intrigued to see that film, A Shock to the System. So when it came out the cinema, I went and saw that. Really enjoyed it. He initially kills a vagrant, doesn't he? And then he realizes, oh, hang on, I can get away with this. And then that sort of like starts the ball rolling, I think, from what I remember.
Yeah.
He's still making. No, like he was supposed to have retired a couple of years ago.
I mean, he was Alfred, and I mean, he's Nolan's mainstay, isn't he? Like, Christopher Nolan has to have
definitely Interstellar. So,
Interstellar and
he was
Inception.
amazing. Harry Brown.
Oh yeah, Harry
right.
Brown.
Yeah. Tell Harry Brown Michael Caine wants to retire. He'll set you straight.
I was thinking about. Were we talking about Gene Hackman the other time, or was? Because he's never made a film for ages.
Yeah.
No, he's retired. He and Connery are both just not wanting to make movies anymore. Both of them.
Yeah.
I think Connery just can't now, from what I've heard. Connery's suffering now, kind of. From what I don't know, from the rumours I've heard, so he's getting he's got a slight dementia or something.
Sure.
Whether that's true or not, that's just a rumour.
But I mean, they've done their stint in that, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luckily, we still got guys like Donald Sutherland and Christopher Walken and Robert Duvall and Dustin Hoffman. They still are making movies regularly.
Yeah.
Have any of you seen Seven Psychopaths? I was going to buy that and the 2 for £12.
No, I haven't seen that.
I saw it in the theater when it came out. Yeah.
Is it any good, Scott?
It's okay. It's a little bit too intent on reminding you that you're watching a movie every scene. But there's some good moments in it. I really like Sam Rockwell a lot. He's just a really fun actor, and he's really good in the movie. And who else is in it? Colin Farrell, Tom Waits, Christopher Walken, and there's a couple of smaller bit characters, but those are the main guys. And it's fun. Nothing terrific, but it's a fun film. It's got its moments.
So I'll put it on my wish list. I'll buy it sometime. I was talking about Sam Rockwell. I watched the Way Back. Have you seen that film?
Uh-huh.
That's a good film. It's have you seen the film Adventureland?
Yep.
Nope. Another way you're talking about that.
It's well, the way back. They're sort of similar themed. The way back. It's about a young kid who his mother has hooked up with a new guy played by Steve Carell, and they're going to this. It's like a summer vacation house, and he's like the loner, the young kid, and the guy played by Steve Carell, he's got a daughter, so she's not wanting anything to do with the other kid. So he goes away to this water park, which is run by Sam Rockwell, and Sam Rockwell makes him see the fun part of life, and that, and it's pretty good. It's a good sort of comedy drama type film.
Yeah, Sam Rockwell makes everything better. He just makes everything more fun.
Yeah,
And he definitely did that for the kid in the movie. Just like, hey, come hang out here. You'll have a good time, and he does. So.
I thought all the actors were good in it. You've got Steve Carell's good in that, and who's the lady in it now? She was in American Beauty.
Allison Janney.
Alison Janney, she's brilliant in that as well. And you've got the Australian lassie. My memory's
Toni Collette, right?
Toni Collette. They're all fantastic actors in it, like.
Yeah.
Quite believable characters and stuff.
Yeah. Maya Rudolph was the woman who Sam Rockwell was seeing that also worked at the park. I don't know if they were married or not, but yeah, she's fun too.
Yeah, the whole cast was good. They shot it in something like 30 days or something.
Sure, yeah. Did you like Adventureland too?
I liked Adventureland, yeah. Solid movie, and good fun movie. That's what I was saying. That would have been a good double bill if you ever had a Saturday night double bill. The two films.
Yeah, Adventureland's a little bit less of a comedy. It's got comedy in it, but it's more of a drama, I think.
Yeah. And
it's the same kind of thing, yeah. Except it's in the 80s.
Kirsten Stewart, I don't know what to make of her. She just seems to play the same character, the same sort of...
Same mopey character, yeah. It's a bit like the cat.
Grumpy cat?
Grumpy cat, yeah.
Right.
I noticed your poster in the background there, Ray, with your Star Wars. Did you see my shoes? Did you see a video I did on my shoes?
Yeah, they were cool as anything. Where did you get them?
I got them from a place called Shoe. Like the Vans are doing all these Star Wars shoes now. I've actually got them right here, like that.
They are so cool, man. Brilliant.
Yeah.
The classic poster too, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'm gonna wear those with my shorts and stuff. It seems a shame to get them dirty, but.
Is that for Russia?
Yeah, I'm gonna wear them there at the beach.
Yeah. So I think Movie Cave Dave, he was supposed to.
Well, Al said that he might drop in around now, but
he's maybe watching the football.
Yeah, I sent him an invite, so hopefully he will join us at some point.
Yeah.
James was going to pop in, wasn't he? About 9 o'clock.
Was it? I thought.
No, I don't remember seeing a message from him.
Oh.
I thought he was on his Facebook. He was like away to a convention, I think, today.
Oh yeah. He mentioned going to convention.
I think he met Nancy Allen.
Nice.
Nancy Allen.
Yeah.
Oh, this year I'm not going to London Film and Comic Con, and this year I just picked the worst year not to go. Obviously I can't go for certain reasons, but Carrie Fisher's going to be there, Lena Headey. I've just really messed up.
That'd have been brilliant. You'd have all the Game of Thrones.
Stan Lee's going to be there. I've actually seen her though. I was when I saw Diamond Dallas Page, the wrestler. She was sitting right next to him, so I did see her. Technically, she was right there, but I didn't have anything for her to sign. I was going to bring my Game of Thrones book up, but I was a bit low on cash that year. But actually, I'd rather her sign my Dread Steelbook.
She's
Right.
brilliant in that film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did get to see that actually pretty recently. I hadn't seen it. Everyone, of course, was saying how good it was, but I finally got around to checking it out.
What did you think of it?
You know what? It seemed more like a television episode than a film because it was more. It was like there was nothing about Dread at all. It was just like this is what I'm dealing with right now today, without any sort of background on his character or anything like that.
Yeah, but that's Dread.
I think it was made for the fans. No, it's like pure fans.
You don't know the thing about Dread is that's Dread. Dread is the less you know about Dread, the better. He's just a guy that goes in there and he's an enigma. You know, he's a guy that goes. He's like the man with no. He's sort of kind of like a Clint Eastwood type of futuristic character. He goes in there, he deals with the situation. You don't need to know too much about him.
Did you see it in 3D?
Yeah, I saw it in 3D. Yeah.
You've got.
No. I saw the disc.
It's a good film, but the 3D makes it absolutely even more amazing. Eh?
Well, when you're up high looking straight down the middle of that building, I'm sure that is a really great 3D shot right there.
Yeah.
The slow-mo scenes where they do the slow-motion drug looks fantastic in 3D.
Yeah.
That's really weird. I don't really understand how that drug works because it's like if it's a stimulant that makes everything seem slower, it must be that's what it must be. It must be like a super stimulant.
Yeah.
Because your brain is processing information faster than normal, so it looks like, and when I see something like that, it makes me think, okay, does that mean that if somebody like Superman or Quicksilver is watching everyone, do they get really bored watching people walking around at their normal speed because they're capable of thinking and reacting and moving so quickly?
Well, I suppose it's a bit, Days of Future Past, where they show Quicksilver.
Right.
In that scene.
Yeah,
how he observes everyone. Maybe that's the way.
Is that not what the new Flash film was about? It's not like he's super fast. It's like he sees everything in slow motion. But obviously,
Quicksilver in the X-Men sees it that way, and I'm sure the Flash. You mean the Flash TV show?
No, is there no a Flash film? Oh no, sorry, no, it's a TV show. I'm getting mixed up.
Yeah, it's a TV show. Yeah, him and Quicksilver are very similar type super characters.
Yeah.
It's interesting as well. It's what you were saying, Scott, about that. How did I was reading something online that says pigeons or birds can see things even quicker than like 60 frames per second. So it's like when they see us, it's like just moving slides. And it's like, for us it would be normal speed. To them, it'd be like just 1 frame at a time. So it's the same sort of scenario, I think.
Like that.
Like a fly, when you try and spot a fly, it knows your hand's coming like way before you.
Yeah. Good for them, huh? They can avoid getting smushed more easily.
Yeah.
So I'm watching that second game started. Colombia, Uruguay.
Oh, Colombia.
It's not neat yet.
Come on, Colombia.
Get your teeth in. Oh no, that was Uruguay.
He's out now, isn't he? Is he banned from now? Suarez.
Uruguay. Aye.
Yeah. Good. Have you seen that Charlie bit my finger or Suarez bit my finger on YouTube?
Nah.
Alright.
Charlie, that really hurt.
But of course they changed Charlie as Suarez now, and it's got like they've changed the head of Charlie and he's got Suarez's head on instead.
I saw that kid on TV last week. He was on some sort of retrospective of the previous decade. They're already doing like pop culture retrospectives of the Audis, and he was on there. He's this big kid now with long hair and glasses. And
really?
Man, I never would have realized.
Oh no, really?
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I can't believe the video is that old already.
Yeah, it was like one of the first, wasn't it, to go viral.
Yes. Speaking of, you guys have probably already seen this one, but if you haven't, I just want to mention it. A couple years ago, there was a video that came out in which a guy took an old VHS tape of himself when he was 12. And
Yeah.
the kid basically is asking questions of his older self. So he gets on camera and he answers the questions, and it's like he's having a conversation. The way he cuts it is just completely brilliant. It's one of the
Yeah, I've
best
seen it. It's
YouTube
very
videos
good.
I've ever seen. Yeah, it's short too. It's only about 4 minutes, but it's well worth checking out. Yeah.
It's crazy that he was able to do that, isn't it? So,
Yeah. I wish I'd had that
Forward-thinking
idea
child.
because I
Yeah.
was playing around with a VHS camera. When I was 16 years old. I had a VHS camera then, and I wish I'd thought to do that because that would have been great. I don't know what I would have said, but it would have been well worth a try. That's for sure.
What sort of things did you film when you had your camera?
Oh, just mostly just short movies that we do like in a day or in an afternoon.
Yeah.
I did some with my brother. They're actually on my YouTube channel, but for some reason the sound is all out of sync, and I
Right.
can't get it to work right. But I also
remember you
had. What's that?
So, I remember you posted. I remember you posted a few. I don't know how old that Columbus Day one was.
Yeah, no, that one was a lot more recent. That was only about
Yeah.
8 years ago. I'm talking about when
Right.
I was like 1989, 1990,
Right,
stuff
okay.
like that. And I was finishing up high school, and I managed to convince my parents to get us a video camera. And so it was me, my brother, and also my friend Matt, and a few other guys that he knew, and we would get together and we'd shoot videos, and they would get more elaborate over time. They would take more planning, and he would script them out and everything. But yeah, I think we ended up doing a dozen or so shorts of varying lengths. And then he started to get really ambitious after high school. He did a movie that was about a half an hour long. He did a movie that was about 45 minutes long in the late 90s. And he's been working on getting that all sort of shaped up with the latest editing software that he's got and putting it on YouTube. He had it on there originally, but he's sort of remastering it. But it was sometime after that, that he was able to make a feature, and that was Love Stalker.
Right. Yeah. I
So
remember that.
yeah, he's been fiddling around with that stuff for a really long time, and I have too, but not so much lately. Now I just get on camera and talk. I don't actually make a film.
Did you study acting?
I guess I took a class like my freshman year, but mostly I was just in a lot of plays, and I did what we call a speech team, and that's where basically you. It's kind of like sports, only it's competitive acting. You have like maybe a 2-character scene, so you'll be partnered up with another kid from your school, and you'll be basically playing like an 8-minute scene against other schools that each have a 2-person scene of their own.
Very good.
And you have monologues, and you have solo readings and things like that. And there's also debate team and things like that. So I was involved with that in school. That was like kind of like my training. But I was also in a lot of plays.
Mhm.
I was in like 8 plays when I was in school.
And were they
Right.
made up plays, or would they have been stuff like
No, they were real ones. Yeah, I mean ones that have been put on professionally. There's a lot of that in high schools. You'll see a lot of plays that have been like Grapes of Wrath, for example. Someone will put that on, or they'll put on Of Mice and Men, or musicals. Like Hello Dolly, My Fair Lady. I was in Little Shop of Horrors. I played the lead in Little Shop of Horrors my junior year. And
Excellent.
right, yeah, the Harold Ramis part. And actually, Matt did the voice of the plant, which was really great because we got to do all those scenes together because we'd been friends for a long time at that point.
Excellent. Sounds
yeah.
like fun.
It is, yeah. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I'd like to get back into it at some point. I haven't been able to because the job that I had me getting up so early in the morning, and plays, they tend to run late, and on the weekends too.
You should
But
get back.
hopefully you'll get to see some acting of mine when Matt finishes up the latest version of The Family Tie, in which I play a complete maniac psycho. That was
You'll
fun.
be good at that. You'll bring out your inner Christopher Walken.
Well, I guess I could if I wanted to. It just depends. I have to be properly motivated, and I need the right foods and snacks, what have you. I'm okay. I'm not the best in the world, but I'm okay.
Excellent.
Can you do an impression of anybody, Ray?
Oh God. No offhand. I'm usually I'm a one-liner sort of guy.
Yeah. I have a hard time doing accents unless I'm just imitating an actual line from a movie. You know, it's like accents are a lot easier if you're just imitating exactly what somebody said.
Yeah.
Like Gary Oldman, True Romance, you know, or something like that, you know. I'm still a mystery to you, but I know exactly where your white ass is coming from. See, if I ask if you have some dinner and you grab an egg roll, start chowing down, I say to myself, this motherfucker, he's carrying on like he ain't got a care in the world. Who knows? Maybe he don't. You know, that's easy. That's easy to just imitate what he said, but to try and do that, you know, with just making it up as you go along, that's tough.
Yeah. It's funny. There's stuff that I can. Somebody could say to me like a couple of minutes, and then I forgot it, but I can remember lines for obscure films. It's just like it's bizarre.
Uh-huh.
I clam up under pressure when I have to remember something, and some of the simplest things that come to mind, even when I'm doing a review or something, an actor's name that I know off by heart easily. When I'm doing a review, suddenly I forget the name of, I don't know, Harrison Ford or something.
That's great.
Something so stupid, and my brain just, I'm like,
That's weird,
I have to like start over when I'm doing a review. It's like so annoying.
I've been like that more lately, and I think it's probably the pressure of just like recording something and knowing that if you mess up, you've got to do it all over again. So I'm just like, I can't remember right now, you know. that kind of sucks for me because normally I have that information, you know, on the tip of my tongue, but I just I mess up sometimes as well. Just can't remember certain names.
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing more annoying when you've done the review and then you look back on it and then you realise you've made a mistake. Like Robert Patrick will be in a film and you've called him Jason Patrick throughout the whole.
Right. Yeah.
You're like, oh no. Maybe if I just say like dub over it, like Jason, Robert over the Jason parts, you know.
I'm terrible. See, like telling you about a film with the plot and everything. I can tell you like actors, cinematography, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But see a plot, I'm like a 5-year-old kid. Is like, yes, the man went into the car, and I'm terrible at it.
Yeah,
that's the plot of Locked. There you go.
Yeah. I noticed you tend to read the synopsis a lot when you do a review, Ray. So that's like necessary, yeah.
Yeah, I can't explain the plot that good, yeah, but like say I can tell you about cinematography and directors and all that though. I'm more a sort of technical guy.
I'll mention like some plot. I'll try to not mention anything because I put like, oh, this is spoiler free, and I might mention something that's even in the trailer, but then someone will go, that's a spoiler. This is not spoiler free. How could you? You know, you mentioned that there was a giant lizard in Godzilla. That's not spoiler free, kind of thing. You know?
Yeah. But that there are other creatures in Godzilla, that is a spoiler.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that film's been out a while now. I mean, I can quite freely talk about that.
Right. Yeah. You know, actually, I saw the trailer, and there was actually a shot that they changed for the trailer, just so that they wouldn't spoil what happens in the movie. Yeah. There's this shot of some people running inside a bunker, and as you see the two doors close, you just get a look at Godzilla screaming as the doors close, but the shot is actually different in the movie.
Right. Right, I see. Yeah, I think they're starting to do that now, and they film scenes just specifically for the trailers. The Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 2, I think they filmed a shot of Venom. But I don't think there was any intention to use it. It was just for the trailer. Like the symbiote in a container somewhere in the background.
Well, they made a lot of changes to that movie while they were making it. I mean, Shailene Woodley was supposed to play Mary Jane in that movie, and they just cut her out. And you know that's probably why that movie is such a mess. Is because they just couldn't figure out exactly which story to tell, and so they just.
I think.
Yeah.
They're going to kick themselves now, aren't they? Hey. That they probably Shailene Woodley. They're probably like, oh, we could really do with her now as Mary Jane in the next one. Now her stock is like, thanks to her recent movies. Yeah. Since they got rid of her, I mean, she's probably going to cost a lot more money now if they want her as Mary Jane. They cocked up. They could have signed her on for 2 movies and got a big name star playing Mary Jane, and now they probably can't afford her for the next films.
Well, maybe they did sign her up for 2 movies. You know.
No, they
It's possible.
dropped her completely. No,
Well,
they dropped her.
Really? Because I know. I
Yeah,
mean,
they
she got cut
dropped
out
her.
of the movie, but if she
Yeah.
was like contracted to be in like the second
No,
and third one, they could still put her in the third one.
No, I heard the contracts. She's not in the contract or anything.
Right.
She's out
I
of
guess
it.
maybe because they cut her out of the second movie, the contract was sort of invalid at that
Yeah.
point, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, we're going to use you in the third and fourth movie. Oh no, we're actually going to use you in the fourth and fifth movie. And she's just like, stop it! I don't want to be waiting around to be in a Spider-Man movie forever.
There's a lot of people that weren't happy about her being Mary Jane. So I think that played a part. They're like some saying she wasn't attractive enough and stuff like that.
Oh please, your standards are so ridiculous. You know.
I know.
She's plenty good looking.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? You get these guys. They look like the comic book guy out of The Simpsons. Yet they're saying, "Oh no, I wouldn't go out with Megan Fox." You know.
Yeah.
You go, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, you turn her down if she come on to you.
Sure. Right.
That's the way. Looking forward to the Turtles movie, or because I know Bay's producing that one.
No, not really.
The new, we see more of them now, don't we? In the and Shredder, got to see Shredder in the recent trailer. Have you seen the recent one?
Yeah, that stuff never interested me even when I was a kid. You know,
No,
just thought it was silly.
I think when the movie came out, I was already like 19 or something else. It sort of just passed me by, that ad. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. You know, I was actually into Transformers too late because all the other kids my age were like starting to think about dating and everything like that, and I wasn't ready to give up my childhood, my toys and action figures and stuff like that, and I got ridiculed quite a bit.
Yeah, I was exactly the same. Masters of the Universe, like I remember having those, and my friend was like, "What you got those for? You know, that's a kid's toy, a little kid's toy." And I was like, "I don't know. I like He-Man. I like the cartoon, but I think I was about 14, but I was ridiculed for liking He-Man at that 15, 14. But I don't care. I mean, I probably now I still collect figures. I got figures upstairs.
Well, those are high quality figures you've got. Those are like collector's items, not just like action figures. You know,
but I mean, those He-Man figures are highly collectible now. Those Masters of the Universe figures. You know, there's men that got them in glass cases. Yeah. I've still got my, in Star Wars figures, the Kenner ones, and
the Kenner ones. Yeah, I had a lot of those. Yeah,
they were a big part of your childhood, and so
sure.
I think I collected them right up till like my teenage years, the Star Wars figures. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember how old I was, but eventually I did say enough of Star Wars toys.
Yeah. I think I was about late teens. I decided that's it. I like girls now, and I think my mum just gave all my toys away. So and then I was like, yeah, get rid of them. I don't want them. Don't want toys now. Get rid of them all.
I had so many Star Wars toys. I had the Millennium Falcon, and I had the Darth Vader TIE Fighter, and I had a bunch of the action figures. I had a little Hoth little play set, a little sort of trench in the snow, with guys to shoot from.
I had the AT-AT, the AT-AT.
That's impressive.
The snow speeder.
Mainly, we used to play in the garden. You would have the dirt and like the rose bushes, and you would have just figures.
Oh yeah.
You build like a whole village or whatever. The days, no worries then.
But yeah, play in the back garden in the dirt with my Jawas and the
land speeder.
Yeah. With my, that was good times.
Yeah.
But now like you get them and you buy the fig. If you buy figures now, you just put them in a glass case and you don't touch them. So.
Yeah, but Woody would be ashamed of you, Dino.
Did you get the Captain America one?
What one? The Captain America?
Yeah.
I haven't got the recent one. I'm getting the stealth one, the one that I'm getting the costume that he wears at the start of Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
The detail in them was amazing.
Yeah, yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, and I'm getting Zod soon. Should be getting Zod soon. So
Excellent.
from Man of Steel.
The new Zod, the Michael Shannon Zod.
Yeah, yeah. He's got like this angry Michael Shannon face.
Oh, that's great.
Michael Shannon's brilliant. Like,
I still haven't seen the was it the Ice?
the Ice Killer. Is it Ice? No. Is it Ice
Yeah,
Killer?
he's the
Iceman.
the Iceman. I still haven't seen it, and I want to see that film.
I've heard it's good.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I like that.
You
Have
seen
you
it?
seen the? Have you seen him on a Bug?
No, haven't seen Bug.
Oh,
I heard it's a great
crazy.
film. Yeah.
Crazy film. But he's brilliant in it. Him and Ashley Judd.
Oh, Bug, yes. Yeah, that's one of my favorite movies from that year. Really liked it.
I feel like I miss out on a lot of films. You know, you guys see these films, I haven't seen them. I'm like,
well, I miss out too. You know, I mean, there's been a bunch of movies that came out the last couple of months that have been. Do I really want to make the effort to go out and see it? And you know, because I want to see it, but not that much. So I end up just skipping it, staying home, getting caught up on TV. You know.
Like any
So,
new films, I've not seen it. It's like it's quite expensive to go to the cinema, so I usually wait until they come to DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff.
Yeah. Well, if you've got a nice setup, then that may be the ideal way to watch them, you know. But I still like going to the theater, just because there's always the chance of something unexpectedly great happening. You know, I mean, there are a few movies that I've seen on video that I went, man, I really wish I'd gone to the theater to see that because that would have been really exciting, or just to, you know, just to have that experience. And then there are those, like I just saw a science fiction movie last week that I didn't like all that much. So I'm like, well, I could have done without that. But, you know, how would I know that unless I'd actually seen it? So, you know, it's sort of a chance you take every time you go out. Sometimes you end up seeing something that you thought you'd really love. Like for me, that's X-Men Days of Future Past. And you end up kind of going, or at least I ended up kind of going, you know, I had some problems with it, you know.
Really? You didn't like it?
Well, you know, overall it was fine, but I still had some problems with it. Just the logic of some of the stuff that happens. You know, I can be finicky about that, especially with the time travel movie. But my biggest beef about the movie is the fact that they never explain how Charles came back to life.
Right.
You know, they just skim right over that. It's like, oh, Wolverine, it's like 10 years from now. It's like 2025, and they're flying around trying to avoid the Sentinels, and Wolverine's working with both Charles and Magneto, but you know, there's no, you know, I mean, you see Magneto slowly getting his magnetic powers back. Of course, they hinted at that, but it's like, how can Charles be back alive?
Well, they hinted at Charles being back alive as a stinger at the end of the end credits of the third X-Men movie.
I've been talking about that. I've been talking about that with friends of mine. It's like, if his body disintegrated, then his mind has sort of wandered into another person's body.
Yeah.
But if that's the case, how come it looks exactly like Charles, and how come he's still paralyzed if it's a brand new body?
Yeah. Well, the rumor is that it's his twin brother.
His twin brother was also paralyzed, right?
That's like a soap opera.
Yeah, it was his twin brother who also accidentally got paralyzed.
Joey Tribbiani.
His hand twin. Yeah.
There were some things about just the logic of how the time travel thing worked, and how events in the past would affect the future at certain times, but other times it wouldn't. It was just like inconsistent rules. But the biggest beef for me was Charles is back for no reason, you know, and also I kind of wish that the scene at the end wasn't there, where you see Wolverine revert back to the future time and everything's different. And I was just like, if you're going to show that, you're basically telling us that these characters right here are going to end up living through any more X-Men movies, you know.
Exactly. And that was a mistake, especially as Age of Apocalypse is meant to be happening in the 80s.
Right.
So we all know that they're going to be fine in the next film.
We'll probably get younger versions of Storm and Jean Grey and Cyclops. You know, so that but we know that they're not in any danger, right?
Yeah, difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
To
was,
be honest with you, the problem with the X-Men is though, the whole chronological thing has been messed up since after the second film. Really, they've never really matched up very well anyway. I mean, First Class doesn't really match up very well with the first X-Men movie, because like Charles Xavier was saying, "Oh, I built Cerebro with Magneto. He helped me build it." He was saying, but like in First Class, it was already built, and their relationship seemed completely different to the way it was explained in other X-Men films. So those movies have never really connected very well anyway. So I always see them as like they're a bit like James Bond films, where they're sort of connected, but they don't really fit together very well. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, I would have an easier time with that if they didn't try and connect them with these
that's
Rebecca
the issue.
Romaine showing up in First Class, and Hugh Jackman showing up in First Class, and stuff like that.
I thought when they even when they showed the Origins Wolverine in a very small clip of it in Days of Future Past, I was like, oh, we shouldn't have done that, because it's bad enough having to remember that film anyway. But I suppose it's kind of a do-over. But yeah, I do agree with you that they didn't explain very well about Charles Xavier. But I think they were just trying to say, okay, look, this is what's happening now. Just forget about the rest of it.
Yeah, I thought that it would have been cool to have them sort of reset the timeline, like how they did with J.J. Abrams' first Star Trek movie. That it's like, oh, now that things have changed, now that Kirk's father is actually dead in this version of history, and Spock's mother died, which is not the case with the original timeline, we can go on a whole new set of adventures. And I figured that's what was going to happen with Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
But they sort of ruined that by having that one scene at the end.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe they can get around that. I don't know. Should be interesting. But
yeah.
Well, guys, I think I might head. It's coming up to half time. I'm going to make myself a coffee.
Okay.
The second half. Good speaking to you.
Yep. Good speaking to you.
We'll chat again soon.
Yep. Speak to you later.
Cool. All right. Take it easy, Ray. You want to continue on for a bit?
Yeah, I'm happy to continue on for a few little while. Yeah.
I'm probably going to want to sign off in about 20 minutes or so, because I'm expecting some people to come by.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. But,
so has there been like a particular film that you were like not all that keen on, but when you saw it, you were like really impressed by it, a lot more so than you thought you'd be?
Well, this year I was surprised by Maleficent. I thought that was a lot better than I was expecting it to be. I thought Angelina Jolie was really good in it, and it was a big improvement over Snow White and the Huntsman, which was sort of like, because Disney seem to be doing this now. They're trying to turn all their animated classics into the live-action films.
Sure, yeah.
And they've got Cinderella next year, haven't they, with Kenneth Branagh?
And they've done Alice in Wonderland and what have you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't too keen on Alice in Wonderland, but yeah.
No, me neither. That was a terrible movie, yeah.
And that made a load of money, so.
I know. It's disappointing when that happens, We hope that people will be smarter, but they get suckered by the marketing, which is everywhere.
Yeah. And you think you put it down to like the pulling power of Johnny Depp, but then that didn't happen with the Lone Ranger, which is strange, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
Maybe people were disappointed with Alice in Wonderland and thought, well, they had a knock-on effect to Lone Ranger.
Well, I mean, the Lone Ranger got a lot of negative publicity before it even came out. I mean, while they were making it, they were having budgetary problems, and that stuff gets repeated online a lot, and then people just sort of have a bad vibe about the movie before they even see the first preview. So, I mean, with the Lone Ranger, I didn't like the ending very much. I thought that was pretty dumb, but I liked the movie up until that point. Right. So that was kind of disappointing.
What about you? Is there any films you weren't looking forward to and then got surprised by?
I guess Valkyrie would be one that I wasn't all that keen on, mostly because I was, I had read, of course, about the fact that they were all German characters, but they were all, speaking with English accents instead of German accents, except for Tom Cruise, of course, who didn't even try an accent. He was just speaking normally. But if you overlook that, it's actually a really great movie.
He's from that. He's that same English accent that Kevin Costner has.
No, he didn't even do an English accent. I mean, he
no,
didn't even try.
but Kevin Costner didn't, did he? In Robin Hood.
No, he tried. He tried. He didn't do very well.
Do you think he did? Oh.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously, are a lot more familiar with how authentic an accent is if it's someone who isn't English, right? And he wasn't speaking like Kevin Costner. He was trying to speak differently, but it didn't work out. Whereas Tom Cruise didn't even try. He was just speaking with an American accent, and so that bothered me. So I didn't go and see it in the theater, and I got it on disc when it finally came out, and went, "Oh, it's actually a really good movie." Aside from with the accent issue aside, it was actually really good. So, and my other favorite example of that is Jumanji. Which is another movie that I just thought, it's a silly kids movie, and I eventually watched it on video after it came out, and I was just blown away by the ending. The ending took me completely by surprise. It was just like, wow, that was amazing. I never would have expected that. Even though they set it up nicely, we had these little hints in the early part of the movie, but I was not expecting that at all. That was like one of the biggest surprise endings I've ever seen in a film, so I'd certainly give it credit for that. Nothing else.
I think the second Hunger Games for me as well. Well, I saw the first film was I enjoyed it, but it had a lot of things I was disappointed by. But the second one I thought was such a massive improvement, and I wasn't expecting that. That was a big surprise for me, and I'm really looking forward to the third one. The teaser just came out yesterday, I think it was. So I'm looking.
The Donald Sutherland thing, right?
Yeah.
Is it the same? I can't remember reading whether or not it's the same director or not. I think it might be, but I just don't know.
I think they changed directors, didn't they? From the first
one, yeah. But is the guy who did the second one doing the third and fourth?
I don't know. I don't know. But it's a big improvement anyway.
Yeah, I was really pleased because Francis Lawrence has made a couple movies that I really liked. I really liked Constantine. And Water for Elephants. Both of those were really solid, and he's just very good visually. So I'm like, well, Gary Ross did a lot of shaky handheld camera work in the first one.
That's one of the things that shaky cam. That's one of the things that put me off the first film. So I was glad to see that go. I don't know why they keep insisting on doing that. No, I don't know who likes that effect, that shaky cam.
Yeah, I think it's basically just to make it seem a little less pre-planned, to make it look like things are happening spontaneously, you know. And it can work, but you got to be careful not to just make it all just moving all over the place and not holding a steady shot. I mean, handheld is one thing, but shaky cam, that's something else, and it could really do less than that. Have you read the Hunger Games books at all?
No, I haven't. My wife has. She's more of the book reader than I am, but
sure.
Yeah, she's read all the Divergent books as well. She saw Divergence, and she really enjoyed that film, so she's gone and read all the books for the Divergent. She doesn't mind. She doesn't mind reading the books and then seeing something. Whereas for me, I kind of I enjoyed Game of Thrones so much. I wanted to see everything on screen first. But as I said before, with the spoilers and everything, I decided I'm going to read ahead now. And talking to TV shows, I know you're ahead of us on this one. I'm currently going through the second season of Hannibal. Have you been watching that in the US?
Not Hannibal. No, I haven't been watching that one. Yeah.
That's a really good show. I've really been enjoying Hannibal. Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing how that pans out. Yeah. And it seems to be going off on its own. It seems to be moving away from the Thomas Harris novels, where certain things that happen to the characters that are in the novels that happen differently in the show. So it's I think they're going to go their own way.
Yeah, I've read a little bit about that with Will Graham. The character Will Graham ending up being framed and going to prison himself.
Yeah,
that certainly didn't happen in any books. Yeah.
No. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I wish I could keep up with all those shows that people like. There's so many of them that I've read about that are probably worth my time, but I don't want to spend all that time watching shows all the time.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's that's why I've passed on quite a few things like Penny Dreadful. I never
Yeah.
watched that. I never watched that Dracula TV show with the guy from the Tudors. Although I watched the Tudors, I thought the Tudors was great. But yeah, so yeah, I try to limit my TV shows. Breaking Bad finished, so I thought, oh, I'll get onto something else. And
Yeah, I've been getting caught up with Shameless, of course, and True Blood. I've got to get caught up on that, and Orphan Black.
Right, yeah, I've heard good things about those shows. I watched the first season of True Blood, but then I sort of fell out with that.
Yeah, it's not mandatory viewing, but it's fun. Orphan Black's one that I've really been enjoying a lot, and I know there's other stuff. I mean, House of Cards. I saw the first season, so I'll have to watch the second season of that. But there's, with Breaking Bad and Orange is the New Black, and a lot of the older series like The Sopranos, I just haven't even gotten started on them. And it's a big time commitment to go back and watch all that stuff from the beginning. And a lot of the times I just don't want to do it.
Yeah, was it Game of Cards? Isn't it called?
No, House of Cards.
House of Cards. Sorry, yeah. I was going to say House of Cards. I still remember the UK version. So that, but then I think it's sort of different slightly, isn't it, to the UK version? I can't remember, but
Probably,
I remember the UK version quite well. So
who was
that
the main
came
character?
years ago. I think he's passed away now. He's quite an elderly actor that played he was like he was a Tory. He was a Conservative, and I think it was around the time Margaret Thatcher had just left office, or stopped being Prime Minister. It was around that, so it's quite a long time ago. But I do remember like how the whole plot went and how it panned out, and so yeah.
Yeah. Well, David Fincher did a couple of episodes, and I really like the actors in the movie. I mean, in the show, Spacey and Robin Wright. They're really great. So yeah, I know that there's been a number of those Americanized versions of the British series or the French series, what have you.
Yeah.
But the American versions are, of course, the ones that get a lot more attention over here, just because they're the American versions.
Yeah, that's understandable. And some things need updating. I think obviously, I mean, like House of Cards, it's not relevant, is it, to having it based in British politics? You need to have it in politics that people are more familiar with. I think it connects better then.
Yeah. Well, it's certainly I mean with I think that for the most part us Americans would probably be more interested in a show that takes place in Washington D.C. versus Parliament. I mean that's just it's just how it is.
Yeah, I mean I suppose we stay connected now that it's more global anyway, and with the internet, I suppose with British people, we know a lot about how politics works in America, especially. So shows over here, what was that one, The West Wing? They did pretty well. They've done pretty well over here because we've been familiar with those that type of politics. So yeah.
Sure. Yeah. There's actually one English series that I'm a really big fan of, and they have a second season that I haven't started, but the first season was just basically 3 episodes long, and that's In the Flesh.
Right.
That was really, really compelling. If that was a movie, it'd be one of my favorite movies ever. Such a well-written show, Yeah. And I just really dug that a lot. I may, I don't know if I want to watch a second season because it might ruin it for me. It might not be as good as the first season. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to let you get on.
Okay.
And have a good night tonight with your friends.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks.
It's been nice chatting and everything. So
yeah, it's been great. Give my best to your wife and kid. Yeah.
I will do. Yeah. And unfortunately I'm going to hopefully get back into doing reviews and everything for the movie reviews. Obviously, I'm a bit busy over the next couple of weeks, but yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get back into it. So
Excellent.
yeah, and when are we going to get our new reviewers coming on? Are they still planned? Or?
Most of them aren't going to be available until July, mid-July, something like that. You know, I know that Al and EJ have been kind of busy, and wanted to see if we had substitutes. But the guys that I've talked to are also pretty busy.
Right.
So it doesn't seem like we'll have new people on until maybe like middle of July.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that we can have at least 2 new guys on the channel on a regular basis starting then.
Yeah.
On a regular basis. It'd be cool.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll see you later.
All right. Thanks, Dino. And thank you very much, all of you who were tuning into us. Appreciate it very much. Later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.